June 2017, Tampa, Florida.
Right. Oh man, that was fun. That was fun. Never have I been with an organization that was that trusting to take that many people to an event that would inspire us so much. That took time, that took money, a lot of minds to, get the right people on that trip. And that was awesome, man. That was like a concert. It was inspiring. I mean, we had Tony Robbins and his crew, and they were giving us nuggets on how to be successful, how to be good people, not just great, but good people, and how to take their business and just, grow, and just little things here and there. And jumping around with you guys with the music and just the energy was so cool. And I've never been with an organization that invested that much time and money to do that, to inspire us to be great. So that was a magic moment. My wife to this day goes, man, that was awesome that Charlie Maloof would, and Manny and the other entities would provide that for you guys. Awesome.
Join Charlie Maloof as he explores the personal journeys of Broad River Retail's very own memory makers. Welcome to Stories from the River.
Hey guys, I'm here with Dwayne Baker. Dwayne has been with us for nearly 10 years now, home furnishings expert, sales manager. I can't wait to get this story started. He is a living legend. Dwayne, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate the intro, living legend. Go ahead, man.
Living legend, man. I was just thinking of that as you were talking. You were talking about the Ashley Domination event in 2017 when we took 40 of our memory makers down for like a 3-day, all immersive, intense event with several hundred employees and people from the Ashley family all over the country.
Yeah.
And we had the biggest representation of any licensee, a little engine that could, Broad River, and we had a great time. That was a great, memorable experience. Dwayne, well, let's get into it, man. So you've been with us almost 10 years. You're here to tell your story. I'm so glad we have you. Before we go, though, tell us a little bit about your career and your background prior to joining the River.
Oh, wow. So I was in banking for almost 20 years. Wow. So I was in retail banking. So I managed branches in Philadelphia and Philly. So I was always, the guy coaching his team for success, and being at the front door, welcoming guests and solving problems, for the branch. Mm-hmm. So that was banking for almost 20 years, Core State, Wachovia, First Union, and then, of course, the merger with Wells. Saw the writing on the wall, and I needed change. And at the time, my wife's job relocated us down here, big hub for the airline industry. And for a while, I was just flying down, for a weekend and then flying back. And that got old, family was down here and I was up there. So I said, you know what, let me try something different. And I applied, and Mike Childers called me up and said, listen, we want to interview you and see about making you one of the family members down here. And here I am, almost 10 plus years later. I got to be honest, man. I said, you know what, to my wife, I'm just going to do this, temporarily until, I get my wings down there and then, kind of get back into banking. And this is fun. Banking was work. I love what I do. This is not work, Charlie. Being honest, this is not just something for the cameras. I love what I do. Banking was work. This is fun. And that's what kept me here all this time.
Wow. Dwayne, that's so cool. Banking for 20 years, and you thought this was going to be a temporary pit stop just to kind of have a job while your wife got transferred. And now you've been crushing it with us. We're going to get into that. I know you're coming up on been with us a decade, your 10-year anniversary, but if we can go back to July 2012, I guess it was now, I tend to believe that most people remember their first day. Do you remember your first day with Broad River?
I do. It's funny you've asked that of everyone, and I do remember. We do. Man, I said to myself, am I going to be able to, stay with this organization, like it was kind of slow. You know, it's sales, and when you're new, you're living off the door. You haven't built up a customer base. You haven't built up a pipeline. So everyone coming through the door was someone new for me. And that first day was kind of slow. I think I sold some lamps, man. You know what I mean? And that was it. It was accessories. And I said, you know what? This may not be for me. But then the buildup and, talking to Rick Rush and Mike Childers, and they said, you wait till you build up a rapport with these guys. They're going to come in and they're going to keep seeing you. You wait for the weekend, you're going to see. And I did. And, it was the buildup to something great. But I do remember that day. It was lamps, and I said,
slow, long day.
And I said, this ain't going to work. I'm going back to banking. But, it built up to something great, and I'm still here.
Awesome. So you've been through us for like the early years. If you can go back to like those first 3 years or so, 2012 to 2014, we were known as Broad River Furniture. Hard to kind of shake that one, and that was all prior to the stores conversion. What do you remember about the first 2 to 3 years? Rick was there, I guess. Mike was there for a little bit.
What I do remember. There was a lot of processes. Man, how many stores were there? Maybe 13, 14 stores. Yeah. So there was a lot of processes, profits, and writing things down, and writing sales. And man, it seemed
sales down.
It seemed like the Stone Age, and it again, I said, man, am I gonna stay here? Am I gonna grow with this company? But I do remember, how slow things were taking the processes and the furniture and the deliveries and things of that nature to now, how fast moving it is. Man, I'm glad I stayed on for the ride, because again, I thought I may not be here. I may have to go back to banking,
So more archaic and like prehistoric.
Yeah, slow and. Is this going to be for me? Because I'm used to, problem solving and moving fast. And I was just an HFC those first
because I think
years.
even in some of those early years, I think I remember some conversations. You were like, hey, if something opens up in the call center, like you wanted a different pace and a different speed. So I got it. And then 2015 happened, the stores conversion.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about that year, particularly those first 6 months and then kind of the recovery afterwards?
Man, I say yes. This guy's spending some money. These guys are moving into the 21st century. Now I may stay around because I saw you making some moves to make things better for us, to improve the processes and speed things up.
But they weren't better right away.
No. It was growth. It was growth. Anything that grows, you got to cultivate and you got to water and nourish it, and then it grows from there. And that's what was happening. That was the beginning.
Interesting. So the problems we had didn't deter you. You actually saw this as just kind of the pain to get to the fruit.
Change, man. Change. It has to be, Yeah.
Okay, so then like 2017, we put in this thing called career paths and experts designation. And we, after we got through the kind of the valleys in 2015 and pulled through, and 2017 was an interesting year for us. We rebranded our company from Broad River Furniture to Broad River Retail. We said we're going to be a retail company. This is when everyone was talking about the retail apocalypse and stores are going away. No, we're going to run to the fight.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and so we're ready for it. We're not going to shy away from being a retail company. And we introduced career paths, something that I think has not really been done too many places, at the sales associate level. Well, you can't be here for 9 hours and 9 days and be called the same thing. That doesn't make any sense, right? There's differences. And so we introduced this experts designation, and you earned the inaugural Home Furnishings Expert designation. You were in the first class, if I recall correctly, one of 4 HFCs or HFPs who got promoted. So how did that feel to be recognized as one of only 4 HFCs to be promoted and recognized as the best of the best with the new experts designation?
Awesome. Felt awesome.
Yeah.
It felt these guys recognized me, being recognized, and not just a link in a chain or a cog in a machine, that these guys recognize you. Man, they putting a parking spot up front for you. You know what I mean?
Right,
who does that? You know what I mean? Not a picture on the wall that says employee of the week or the month. What a parking spot, for a guy who's put in the work, who's worked hard. That's an expert. So you guys gave us levels, you know what I mean? And levels is good. There's no ceiling, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
So by doing that, it gave us a sense of purpose. First class, I'm on the one of those green jackets for golf,
That's
you know what I
right,
mean?
that's right.
In Canton, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm first class,
That's
so
awesome.
I'm up on that wall, and you can't take me down,
That's awesome.
So that felt good. So that was awesome, man.
Okay.
That was awesome.
So going back to a really cool memory then, do you remember that afternoon in 2017 when we brought all the experts in, and then we had the leadership dinner at Roost Chris, one of many celebratory dinners you've attended with us. Do you remember that day?
Yeah, I do. I remember it was Zafir, Suni, and who was it? Randy. Was it Randy? But it was cool, with those guys, talking about how we got there, the journey, what we like about what you guys have done.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Charlie, the company I was at for 20 plus years, almost 20 years, didn't do those sort of things. It's the little things that matter, that drive us and that humble us and say, listen, man, these guys are doing the work for us and celebrating us, so let's do the work for them. So by doing that, the first class and the dinner, and it was awesome. You guys invested and spent the money to celebrate us, so now we just have to reinvest that in doing what we needed to do.
Well, I just think there's something about like a feeling of we're all in it together.
Right.
And the spoils shouldn't just go to the top. Like we should all be celebrated and recognized. And it's more fun when we win together. So it's fun to celebrate those people who help you achieve success together and to reward them for it. So it's great. So becoming $1 million memory maker. So you became a $1 million writer, what we refer to as a $1 million memory maker, for the first time in 2018. Mm-hmm. What did that accomplishment mean for you?
It meant I was part of a brotherhood and a sisterhood, Mm-hmm. Initially, up until then, I always felt like $1 million. I didn't need to sell $1 million to be celebrated that way. I felt like $1 million, but I said, you know what? I want to be part of this brotherhood. I was first class and the expert thing there. So you know what? Let's show these guys, let me put the gloves back on. Let me get back in the ring and show them, I still got something there.
I got it.
So I turned on the switch.
Yeah. What clicked? What was the switch that you turned on? What changed for you in 2018?
Well, it was Christian Adams, Chris Berrier, Jamar, all those guys. Now they moved to the next level in this brotherhood and celebrating being $1 million writers. And I said, you know what? Nah, nobody's leaving me behind. You know what I mean? I need to be part of that brotherhood and show them that, listen, big brother's here. Let me show you how I do things.
You couldn't get left behind.
No. I want to be celebrated too. And, I want to show you guys that, this is a brotherhood and it can be done. Let me turn it up, guys. Let me show you how it's done.
So there was another gear, and you haven't missed it since then.
Right.
Even during a remodel and COVID, so you got it every year, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and I'm sure you're on pace this year.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's another little stumbling block. So 2019 and the year of the remodel, one challenge that none of us probably saw coming was that remodel in university. And maybe you're going to go back to kind of what you said earlier, but I'm sure you probably like to forget it in some ways. What do you recall about that experience of the renovation and the remodel in university?
Man, that was character building.
Okay.
It was. And I always reached out to Jamar and all the other guys at the different stores that had the remodel done already. So they gave me feedback on how they pushed through. So I was always on the phone with them. Man, how did you guys do this? So I always was on the phone and speaking to those guys, but it was character building. So it showed me how to go around obstacles, over them, through them, but don't stand still. You got to keep moving. And it showed me how to be the best at my craft and how to serve my guests. I always say if you're selling your guests and you're selling something, you're only going to sell them once. But if you're serving your guests, you're going to see them a lifetime.
That's good.
I always say that. So I learned how to really serve my guests, how to gain their trust, how to show them that, yes, we're going to help you furnish life's memories through all of this and make things better. spite of the plastic
Yeah.
and the dust. We're going to show you how
or the noise.
or the noise. We're going to show we're going to show you the best customer service experience, and we're going to serve you through all of this and make sure you have a great experience.
Well, I got to repeat what you said just a second ago, because you said if you sell your guests, you sell them once. But if you serve your guests, if you have this service mindset, you serve them for a lifetime.
Absolutely.
That's a big nugget. That's a big nugget, big takeaway. We're early in. We're already dropping some pearls on us.
Yeah, it's serious, man. It's serious.
Yeah. All right. So we got through that, and then we came out the other side of that. And we got a 2-in-1, a dual concept store, home store plus outlet, and it's the lighting's better. It's much brighter and updated. Yeah. So how has it helped? How has the new store helped?
It's helped in a way where now we have a variety for everyone, all walks of life. You have some guests who are trying to save a few dollars. They go to an outlet, a brick and mortar store. You have some guests who, want a little discount, and they'll go to a home store. I don't need to go to an outlet. Well, now we have both. Mm-hmm. Probably one of the only stores that's a hybrid like that, mm-hmm. right? Yep. And you guys did an awesome thing there. So I love talking about that to my guests. That, listen, this is the only store that you'll see like this, where mm-hmm. we have the best of both worlds. Yeah. So we got all walks of life. We have an affluent guest, and we have a blue-collar guest who wants to save a few dollars but furnish their home. Yeah. So that sends everyone to a centralized location. So I love that. I have that. Let's get you taken care of here. Let's make it a one-stop shop. Let's get something for your son and daughter, and then take care of you guys. Let's get you taken care of for the guest room mm-hmm. or for the summer home, and let's get you taken care of for a son and daughter who's moving into the university in the area and they need housing, but you don't want to spend a gazillion dollars. So we've got all walks of life, and we've got all price points there.
And we may have at some level had that before, but it was very hard to delineate or distinguish. It's very easy now. Like, this is all of our outlet assortment, because we did expand the showroom in terms of like creating more showroom space and more product to be able to show there with the remodel. So I guess you would say it has breathed new life into the store, and the response from the guests has been favorable, and we've seen the sales take off right since we did it. So from our perspective, it's been a positive ROI. Do you believe that the investment that we've made and the remodel made a big difference with the guests?
Absolutely. Out the gate, you saw our numbers change.
Out the gate.
We're a platinum store now.
That's right.
I mean?
That's right.
So out the gate, we took off because now we have more to offer. The sign says outlet on the front there, so they think they're walking into an outlet store when it's a home store mm-hmm. that has an outlet.
Matter of fact, that you mentioned platinum, I think at one point during your tenure, university was a silver store, then went to gold and has now gone to platinum. So that's another really key point. And you think that having the outlet piece is a really big benefit for us as part of the home store in this hybrid model there?
Yeah. Again, once again, all walks of life, Charlie.
I like how you said that.
I'll get a guest that walks in there who only has $300, $400 to get that sofa. Before that, they may not have walked in there thinking that they could afford that mm-hmm. or foresee themselves that sort of discount being in place. But now they know that Ashley has a little bit for everyone. Yeah. So, no, it's a good thing. And the fact that it says outlet outside, but when they get inside, I've got the guest from Morrisville who's getting a better quality. And I've got the guest down the street, again, a kid who's moving into UNCC, who's just looking for that sofa and didn't think that Ashley had that price point for him. So I've got something for everyone. So, no, it's a good thing. It's a great concept to blend that into one store. Otherwise, they might have gone to one of our brick and mortar, Matthews or South Boulevard, which is spending gas to go to a different location when we got it all there.
That's right. Make it more of a neighborhood one-stop shop.
Yes, sir.
Well, being our sleep sales manager, I think you've got to love that beautiful new sleep gallery. How's that helped your business?
Well, we had the other gallery before the remodel, but this is a lot better. It's open. It's more modern. Yeah, it's open and more modern. We got the music there. We have the great lighting. It's separate from all the furniture. It's separate from all the noise. Mm-hmm. So when you're doing a comfort test in there, the guest is laying back with the pillow, reclining. They got the soft music, and they've got a selection of 20 plus mattresses, the best that we have to offer, as opposed to walking them to different locations in the store. So it's all centralized, and it looks great. Paint, posters on the wall, good music, good vibe. Yeah.
Perfect. So you got a box you can win with now. Things are going great. And then 2020 happened, the pandemic, and face masks, store closures, can't open the stores, Mecklenburg County. Tell us about your experience during the early days of COVID.
Right. It was scary, didn't know what to expect, but the captain at the helm, you guys, we had those town hall meetings on Fridays. That eased my mind.
How so?
Well, you guys said, don't panic, we're working on it. As opposed to, I don't know, you've seen some locations shut down, and the workers drove up to the store, and then it was shut down, and they were out of business. There wasn't a town hall call. There wasn't something before that. There wasn't a meeting that said, "Hey, this is what we're implementing. Here's what we're trying to do." You guys eased my mind as well as the others to say, "Hey, this is what we have in plan. Mm-hmm. This is the goal. This is how we're going to get through this, and we're going to get through this together."
Yeah, well, so much to say about that, and I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, there wasn't a one solution for every HFC, so we had to provide options, because there's a portion who said we should close all of our stores, and it's not safe, and that's what people thought at that moment. And there was other portion who said, "Don't take away my livelihood. You need to stay open. I need to do business." And so we offered, this furloughs. And at that point, you didn't know how long it was going to last. Yeah. We'll do a 2-week deal. We'll do a 3-week deal, 4-week deal, and we'll try to ease the pain. And this is all before the stimulus came, too, and all that. We actually sent out the first stimulus checks to our furloughed folks before the government did, but we had about 30% of the people elect to take the furlough. 30% of our memory makers take the furlough at retail, and that's actually what we kind of expected based off what we thought. But we gave people the option, and then we, fought to keep the stores open where we could keep the stores open. But sometimes we had to kind of move people around to stores. It's kind of a little bit of that. So, but it was trying to figure out how to get a solution that worked for everyone while keeping everyone safe and understanding what was going on in the world, which sometimes means getting on a town hall call and just like, we just want to talk to you and tell you what's going on. We don't have all the answers. This thing's moving fast, and we're just going to, let's stay in dialogue. That's what it was. But so how many stores did you work in at that time? Like, didn't you go help us at one point? Weren't you running the Matthews store?
Yeah. I was all over the place.
So tell us about
all over the place. And going around to the different stores showed me the different challenges that each store and each HFC has at these different locations, the different customers, the different walks of life, the different demographics as far as the area goes, and how they handle those guests. So being at those different stores was a lot of fun, and you guys gave us the opportunity again and the options, because it was scary. Didn't know what to expect. Are these guys going to shut down? When are they going to open back up? But you guys gave us the option to, hey, listen, they're shorthanded at Greenville, they're shorthanded in Raleigh, they're shorthanded in Matthews, they're shorthanded in Kannapolis. Can you help us? And I dove in and I said, yeah, sure, I'm game. This is going to be fun, traveling to these different locations and seeing how to help. And then just seeing the challenges that the other stores have, when it comes to serving their guests and fulfilling the numbers of the day,
I got to tell you, I was just blown away by the whole experience, by our people, the way they just rallied and said, yeah, I'll go to Greenville. I'll go cover the store. I'll do it by appointment only. Yeah. Whatever the government says I have to do. It's like, okay, if our people are going to fight that hard and willing to do it, we're going to fight that hard to and then people were buying furniture. Then once the stimulus checks hit, how grateful were we that we had stores open? Because it was just like unbelievable.
Yes. So, that was something. Didn't see that coming.
Nobody did.
Didn't see that coming.
Well, I can tell you, we thought the second quarter of 2020 was going to be, we were just trying to break even at best. Like, okay, how long can we lose money for? And how long is this going to? And it turned out to be our best financial quarter we've ever had. It was just an amazing blessing. But that was really because of our people just rallying. And there's some other things that kind of happened. And obviously, we were blessed being home furnishings versus like the travel industry, right? So we had some lucky breaks at that point. But we put ourselves in position to take advantage of those lucky breaks. And we had people who said, I got you. And that's because we'd invested in the culture for so long, I think, and invested in our people, really, who just said, we're in. It's just, if y'all are in, we're in.
And that's why I travel.
Yeah.
You know, Charlie and Manny and everyone up at corporate said, we're all in, so I'm all in.
We're all in. Our year. The word was our word of the year was united.
Yes.
All in.
Yes.
So we're gonna live that through and through, and then we did. And so let me ask you this. So I've always wondered, like, we're wearing face masks, and we got guests coming in wearing face masks. How difficult or challenging was it to like connect with your guests while wearing a mask all day?
Difficult for me because I when I'm speaking to my guests, I like to smile.
Yeah.
I like to feel warm and trustworthy. And sometimes with this whole mask thing, that was new to everyone. So a lot of guests didn't know if they could trust this guy. They can't see his face. They can't see if he's smiling, what he's thinking. I don't know. It's funny. People, because they can't see your face or your smile, they don't know what you're thinking, know. But that was tough for me because I like to see people's faces and smile at them and let them know that I'm genuine, and they couldn't see that. But they felt my energy.
Okay.
My energy.
You have to figure out other ways to either smile through your energy, smile through your eyes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And they felt my energy, and they felt that I was genuine and trustworthy. So that is what accelerated, the numbers that I had through COVID, and even as far as following up with the guests and making sure that they were okay, to let them know that I'm the same guy, that you met in person with the mask on, and I'm calling you to follow up,
Well, I love that, really what you're saying is, there were going to be challenges. It was going to be tougher. And I was just going to figure out how to work harder or work smarter to figure out what I needed to do different. Because I'm still going to go get the goals I need to get or make the income I need to make. That's not going to deter me, but it's just going to make it's going to test me, and I'll figure it out. So I love that ingenuity. So let's reflect for a second. As you look back, what has been the most challenging year in your Broad River career? Was it 2015 in the stores conversion? Was it 2019 in the remodel? Was it 2020 in the pandemic? Or was it your very first year with we were archaic, right?
It was my first year.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was my first year. Again, I didn't know if I was going to stay on with you guys and go back to banking because I just didn't see the processes, happening right then and there. Little did I know, just hang tight, Dwayne. This is a roller coaster, bro. This isn't you're at sea. It's up and down. And I was getting homesick. I was in banking for so long, and I didn't know if sales was going to be my thing because I took a pay cut joining you guys and didn't see the rewards right away. I was looking for monetary rewards. I wasn't seeing the big picture, which is vibing with the family that I work with and vibing with all the customers that were going to come back to see me because I hadn't, it's still a year and you still haven't. It took me at least 3, 4, 5, 6 months to learn the processes.
Well, there's really some great advice and wisdom for someone who's starting off on the sales floor. Have patience. Like if you really want to thrive and have a great career here in sales, you can. And you can vibe with your coworkers and with your guests and have an illustrious, rewarding, being recognized career. But it may not happen right away. You can't microwave it.
It takes time. It takes time. And that's what I learned being with Broad River and this roller coaster. Just chill, Dwayne.
But that makes the journey worth it, though, too. It makes the reward, makes the fruit sweeter.
Absolutely.
So let me ask this. What has been your most rewarding year?
Probably the $1 million first year.
First year, 2018?
Yeah, it was because now I showed the guys that, hey, I'm here with you. Yeah, you ain't leaving the old guy
big brother,
behind.
Yeah.
That's right. Big brother's here. I'm part of the brotherhood. So that felt really good because so many people had been pushing me, Dwayne, why aren't you $1 million writer?
I remember that.
And I'd say, no, I'm good. I feel like $1 million.
Yeah.
I'm good, guys.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, I'm having fun, guys. But being that $1 million writer and being part of that club, almost completing the task, expert $1 million writer. What else is there left? Keep going, Dwayne. That was probably the most rewarding.
That's a great answer. Hey, Dwayne, I'm curious about this. What would you say? How have you managed to sustain excellence consistently over the past 10 years?
Planning.
Planning. What do you mean by planning?
Planning. Waking up, feeling blessed, waking up in the morning and thanking God, and then planning my day. My birthday is every day I wake up because God has given me another opportunity to wake up and create positive change and give those blessings to someone else. So waking up and planning, what am I going to do to be positive? What am I going to do when I go into work with my team to help them be successful? So planning my day, planning my week, planning my month, because it's my birthday. I woke up another day, so plan around that.
This immense feeling of gratitude and being
Yes,
grateful
sir.
for the day
Yes,
and
sir.
what the day offers you. So that's a great perspective, a great discipline that you have on that. Okay, so I love this phrase, purpose begins with identity. And, your store has gone through a couple of identities. And maybe it was originally the U, then you guys became the Unstoppables with Turbo. And then you guys, that's when we first rolled out identities. And then you've kind of rebranded, refreshed, and gone back to the original, the U. So I assume you've had input in helping come up with each of these identities at some way along the line. What can you tell us about each one and why the U is the right identity for you guys right now?
Oh, man, the culture and the U represents united for me. As a team and as a family, we're united, but we're a team, which is the football team. You know what I mean? So Chris Barrier, he when he was a store manager there, he wanted to go back to that because that meant something to him. Rick Rush started it, and it meant something to him. It meant a team. Football, we persevered together. We pushed through. We win, we lose as a team. But it meant team. Unstoppables meant to Travis a machine that's unstoppable, that breaks through barriers. But now going back to the U, united as a team. So, Chris Barrier mentioned that when he came back, he wanted to go back to that as a team. And he asked my input, just small, a brief conversation around that, what do you think? And I said, listen, the U felt good, you know what I mean? That symbol. United,
it's a cool
teamwork.
symbol.
It is, you know what I mean? And it's synonymous with team, I think. It fits,
That's a great answer. I mean, one thing about the U has always produced just this incredible top shelf talent. Sometimes they stay at the U, like you, or sometimes they graduate and move on, like Jamar going down to Dreamville, I should say. So who have been I just want you to reflect back on who have been some of the memorable rock stars, these all-world talents that you have worked with at the U?
Wow, let's see. Richard Peterson. I call him Big Ticket. Yeah, I call him the sensei. He's taught me so much. And then Jamar, and then Chris Barrier, crazy guy, man. Wow. Antoine, Kerwin, Randy Shepard, Suni Foot. I mean,
I didn't know Suni worked at the U.
No, he didn't work at the U, but just talking to him every day, it almost felt like he was there because he was looking at my numbers, I was looking at his numbers. Lorenzo, Clay. I mean, man, the list goes on. Lisa Griffin, Mama Bear, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of team players that I miss, and they're all gone, and it's, I feel like I'm the only one that's left there,
Well, I really feel like that team, it's almost driven your performance, and I think you've contributed to making that feeling of family. Do you feel like that team mentality has led the U to achieving the success that it's had?
I do believe so, because when in new family members come to the store, I impress upon them that, listen, this is where you come to work, but you're here more than you are at home with your family. So this is this is your work family. Right. So culture means everything. A healthy culture, flourishes. A healthy culture is makes it worthwhile being there, working so many hours together, because we're all in it together. So when new people come into that store, we bond immediately, and then we're all having fun, and I'm letting them know, listen, this is a family here. So anything that's on, you got to get off your chest. Come on, let's work it out as a family. There's going to be some ups and downs, there's going to be some spats, but let's handle it as a family. So that's why that store has always been, it's always bred so much great talent, so many $1 million riders. As they come there, they learn the craft and what to do and how to be successful. And there's so much wisdom in that store that we all collectively provide each other, that they go to other stores and they carry that, and they're successful there, and they try and create that same culture. But man, everyone that starts there has always been successful somewhere else. So I think that's just because we just care. We care, and family.
Mike Schilder said on the podcast, he said his dream would be one day to get all those all-stars back together and have an all-star weekend. Come back together.
And I definitely can't forget Mike Childers and Rick Rush. So those were guys that they weren't on the sales floor. They were managing us and coaching us for success. So they've created a lot of talent also.
That's awesome. So, furnishing life's best memories. Let's talk about some of your best memories here. You opened up with the Ashley domination in Tampa. Do you remember the leadership summit in 2018 when we brought in Inky Johnson and unveiled our purpose statement?
Yeah.
Were you at that?
No, I wasn't at that one, but I mean, I've seen the videos.
Okay.
Travis used to play them every Saturday for inspiration. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We would always have those videos in Saturday morning huddles before we got on the ground and started having some fun and making some money. And Travis would always put those videos on, YouTube videos.
Do you remember the gala in January 2020 when we saw? Yeah. What does that one mean to you?
That meant a lot. That was like the celebration of everything and everyone. Anytime you have these events, Charlie, they mean a lot because you're celebrating us. You're celebrating our ups and downs, but we made it here together. So I really appreciate those events. Everyone's dressed up, they're feeling good, they're looking good, but you're providing, a platform for us to be celebrated. So all of those events, the Inky Johnsons, events, the Tampas, the $1 million Memory Maker celebrations at the top of the year, I appreciate those, and I appreciate you guys for even going that far, because again, I was with a company for almost 20 years that, we were maybe celebrated once a blue moon. There wasn't a lot of galas. There wasn't a lot of celebration.
A little birdie may have told me that there may be a big experts dinner planned in the works here at a nice local steakhouse with, we'll now that we can gather again. So we got to get back to doing those again and breaking bread together. They're worthwhile. So, who are some of the personalities that really stand out to you? You've mentioned Big Ticket and Childers and Rick Rush and Lorenzo and Jamar and Randy. Is there any other big personality that stands out to you who you've worked with?
Oh man, Molly. Molly. She was with us through the remodel and all the things she had to go through with inventory and making sure that we were the processes were followed and back office things were taken care of. So Molly was a big part of that. Christian, yourself, Manny. I mean, Heather. Whenever we had the new hires coming in, Heather would say, "Dwayne, and here's who I'm sending to you." Even Heather included me in the mattress, the comfort test video that we did before the remodel. It was Heather that said, "Dwayne, I want you to do this. You've got this great personality." And we did so many takes for that thing to make sure we got it right. And then you guys included me in that new hire process because they saw the video that, that I was in. So things like that, they mean a lot to me. You know what I mean?
That's good.
Yeah.
What have you learned from the various leaders that you've had that you've added to kind of your arsenal?
Follow the processes. We're giving you the tools to be successful. Follow the processes. They will bring you success, but you just got to believe, Dwayne. Yeah. Always, you guys have always done that. Follow the processes, Dwayne. Just believe and you'll see it's going to carry you so far. So whenever you guys come up with these nuances, I believe in them because you guys took the time to put it together, to present it to us. Now I have to regurgitate it and give it to my team, but follow the processes, Dwayne. I promise you're going to be successful.
Okay. And so when you think about who you work with today, who inspires you from your colleagues?
Man, when I look at the numbers and I see Jamar's numbers, when I look at Frank's numbers,
they're off the charts.
When I look at everyone's numbers, and I see how well these guys are doing, and they're working through the same issues and problems that I have. I mean, the list goes on. Chris, just his. I love the path he's taken. Chris Barrier. He started maybe a couple weeks after I did, and look where he is right now. I'm proud of that guy. So there's a lot of teammates, and family members that I see out there that are doing so well, and I'm proud of them, and they inspire me because it just shows me that, they're believing in the processes also, and they're becoming successful,
So when you think of premier performance and what differentiates one versus the other, what do you think differentiates your level of performance from others in retail sales who aren't seeing that same level of success?
I think just not believing, you know what I mean? And sometimes seeing certain things that happen day to day that may deter them from believing, if whether it be a delivery or, things being delayed and logistics.
Getting their perspective off
mindset. Don't let it.
You protect the inputs on that mindset.
Absolutely.
So that's important. Is goal setting important to you?
Yeah, along with planning.
Okay.
Planning, waking up and being thankful for your day and planning and setting goals.
What are your goals for this year?
Purpose. Okay. My goal is to have a sense of purpose and pass that on to the next family member that works at that store or who reaches out to me and says, Dwayne, what do you do that helps you get through the day-to-day issues and problems?
It's such an interesting answer, Dwayne, to that question, because typically I would expect to hear a number. Oh, my goal is to do this for me. But what you just answered is, my purpose is to help the new folks who come into the store, and that's my goal. And I really think that speaks to the culture at the U, that you've articulated this family culture. Like you've called yourself the big brother, as opposed to like big brother's going to go show you guys what I can do. But it's really like big brother because now you're part of my family. And I'm going to make sure you're looked after and cared for and protected. And so I think there's a lot to be said for what you just said there if you unpack it and pull the thread back. And I hope I'm not reading too much into it, but I know you. I probably know you real well enough to kind of know that that's how you think too.
Oh, absolutely. I have to start my day with a sense of purpose. So from there, that's when the planning and the goals are set. But I got to have a purpose, and how do I get there?
Okay. Let's say that your time has come at the river and you're retiring, and let's say you're sitting on your front porch in a rocking chair, talking about the good old days and drinking your beverage of choice, maybe some sweet tea or lemonade or whatever, and you hang out with friends. And Dwayne, what do they think about you? And you want 3 words to come to mind as to represent your legacy. What are those 3 words?
Off the top of my head, I would say, man, that guy was trustworthy. He had my back. I would go into battle with him because I trust his leadership. Guy was fair. He always listened to me, and he was always fair when determining things. and he was a family guy. You know, he's a family guy. He loves family. He loves to come to work and understand that he has a family there, and he wants to treat them that same way because he talks about his family all the time. He talks about his kids and his wife. So family.
Trustworthy, fair, and family. That's great. So I know that and maybe this is where we get into the family. I know that it always takes a village to achieve the phenomenal success like you've had. Who are some of the unsung heroes of your world, or colleagues or family members of your world, and tell us what they do that help you?
Oh, wow. Mom and dad. So my mom, I gained my strength from her. She was a single mom that raised us. And I had to give up to help her. And to this day now, I help her because she gave so much to me. So she's a big part of where I am. My wife's mom and dad, who are my mom and dad also. I don't say
Mother-in-law.
No, those guys are awesome. That I grew up without a dad. So my wife's dad is my rock. He gives me wisdom when I lack it. My wife's mom is so smart, and she is witty, and she gives me the nourishment that I need. My wife is my light. She sends me out the door with a sense of purpose and gives me my strength and my light, and my kids are my challenges that help me gain wisdom because there's always something going on with them that I have to dive in and help. So, man, when I say family, I mean it. And first and foremost, just my faith, being thankful again that my birthday, I was able to wake up and create change because I got a new birth. I had a reset button that I was given to start a new change. So my family. If you see any of the Saturday morning meetings or any time they say, put in the chat what you're grateful for, health and family. Health and family, it will be every time.
I think I'd love to be at a family barbecue with you and just to hang out and see your parents and your in-laws and your mom and dad, mother-in-law, and your wife, and see that interaction with your kids. I think that'd be, just to hear you talk about them. It's really special to listen to. Okay. Our company's word of the year for 2022 is thrive. So you certainly thrived in 2021 in spite of a global pandemic. What does it mean for you to thrive?
Well, now to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So we've labored through 2015, the movement of the facilities, the growth in Fort Mill. Now to thrive now is to enjoy the fruits of our labor, to enjoy the ride now, to, just water that tree that is so tall, you know.
Okay. Keep watering it.
Yeah, man, that's it. Yeah.
And so what advice would you offer to another memory maker to help him or her enjoy the fruits of that labor and to thrive this year?
Believe that, there's going to be good times and bad times, but you got to believe that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. You got to wake up with a sense of purpose and just believe. Follow the processes and just believe. Okay. Believe in yourself. Believe in the positive energy around you.
All right. And I'm sure you've gotten a lot of advice. You even talked about your rock, your father-in-law, who you call your dad, your father. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Be the change that you expect.
Ooh, that's a good one. So that's an accountability statement. Yeah, starts with you.
Starts with you, absolutely.
Well, what advice would you give to a new hire starting on the sales floor today? There's probably someone who's watching this who's getting ready to start, and Chris Barrier or Garrett's going to say, well, go watch the Dwayne episode. And so here's your chance to give them some advice.
Just when you find yourself in a rut and you find yourself confused about your sense of purpose, just reach out to the family that you work with, and believe in them. They have your best interest at hand, and just make sure that you you speak to them, and ask for advice. No man is an island.
Yeah, so don't keep it bottled up.
No.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Like reach out to someone and talk through it.
Absolutely.
That's good. All right, so you've been with us for almost 10 years now. If you go back to your first day, what would you tell your younger self about what life is going to be like at the river, coming from the banking industry? Yeah.
Man, hang on. This is a roller coaster ride, man.
I hear that a lot.
You can put your hands up while you're going up and down, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a ride, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. There hasn't been a lot of moments I've had here where I was not happy, Charlie. Maybe wondered about if I was going to hang around long enough, but there hasn't been a moment where I've been unhappy. You guys have provided a lot, so just hang along for the ride. These guys are doing great things. They're growing. They mean business.
Okay. So what is something about Broad River that you think would surprise others from the outside looking in, like a misperception or something?
Man, how much do you care? How much you guys care? I mean, sometimes these companies grow and they forget all the people that helped grow it, that came up along with the growth. And dude, you can walk into every store and Charlie knows your name. Manny knows your name.
It's a lot more difficult now.
It is, but Charlie, I mean, the fact that you and Manny and Heather and those guys can walk into the store and Stacy and know these people that work for them, you're not sitting up in the ivory tower and just looking at numbers. That means a lot, that means a lot. And that is so cool.
Well, very cool. And we do care. And that does come from an authentic source. So what's something about you that would surprise your fellow memory makers?
And I'm a nut.
Are you really?
I'm a nut, man. I'm a funny guy. I'm a funny guy. I love family. I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Are you really?
Skydive,
what?
You know what I mean? I jump off cliffs, I love stuff like that, yeah.
Have you done the iFly deal in Concord?
No, I've flown to Vegas and jumped out of planes, man, tandem jumping, but I'm an adrenaline junkie and I'm a nut, man. I'm funny, I'm fun.
I told you I want to be at your family barbecue. I mean, I don't know if I want to go skydiving with you. I did just do some zip lining in Costa Rica.
That was awesome. I did that too in Costa Rica too, yeah. So yeah, a lot of fun.
Oh, man, that's good stuff. Okay, so I guess that answers my next question. When you stop working for the day and you have some time for yourself or your family, what do you like to do for fun or just to relax besides skydive?
I like working in the garden.
That would also be surprising. An adrenaline junkie who likes the patience of working and tending the garden.
I love gardening. I love flowers. I love plants. I have about 10 to 15 plants in my house, and my wife says, if you bring another plant in here,
Yeah.
I love flowers and I love plants. It's a calm.
Yeah.
It's something about nurturing those flowers and, giving them nourishment and water and fertilizer and seeing them grow, because I'm a family guy, you know what I mean? So I love planting and being in the yard, and the neighbors love me. They love to see. They drive by to see what I'm doing next. That's me,
My wife's a big gardener. She loves gardening, and so I get it. Our backyard's beautiful. It's got all kinds of stuff growing back there, and I'm sure you've got a great garden going, so it's awesome. I got one last question for you. So now you're speaking to someone who is not a memory maker, and they're thinking of joining the river. What advice would you offer to that person?
Give these guys a chance. They offer a lot. They're family. They have your best interest at hand, and you will be successful. This company has grown, and we've all grown with it. And just give them a chance. And Charlie and Manny and everyone up there at corporate, they have our best interest at hand, and we'll grow together. But give them a chance, and the sky's the limit.
That's right.
Sky's the limit, man. You guys invest a lot in us, and we give it back. But give Broad River a chance, man. These guys are good people and good family.
Love it. Dwayne, thanks so much for coming down and being on the podcast.
Appreciate you for inviting me, Charlie. This was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Hey, guys, that's Stories from the River, the Dwayne Baker episode. Hey, we hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, mash that subscribe button wherever you're listening. If you can watch these on YouTube, or you can listen on Apple, on Google, on Amazon. Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We like to bring you fresh new content every Wednesday. We hope you enjoy this one. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much, Dwayne.
Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate you.